Back again. Boy Neptune the Goon. Back on it as usual. But I'm back to where I said this is part 2 of the Drakeo. I didn't want to leave it too long because I know people that like, comment, subscribe, they don't like the videos too long. You know what I mean? So I had to chop and screw it like, hi-ya! I had to chop it in half, gang. I already know. Attention span is like 2 minutes long. You feel me? Like, poof, 2. I just blacked out. Poof, 2 was gone. So, Neptune the Goon, part 2, Drakeo versus Munchie B. Munchie B was going against the Stinc team. Long live my brother. He did kill your bitch ass brother. But long live Drakeo. Once again, Neptune the Goon, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. We're going to get into it. Now, we already did the rundown on part 1 of how I knew Drakeo. And I grew up with him for real, for real. I didn't call him Drakeo. You feel me? His mama know my mama. My mama know his mama. They go to church together, even still to this day. You feel me? Drakeo, I never known him to be a buster. But I know he was a funny looking nigga coming up. That nigga looked weird. But as everybody else do, when they grow up, they grow into they, you know what I mean? And then they look like something. But Drakeo always had that little wandering eye though. You know, that little, that's neither here nor there though. That's my brother. You know what I mean? Besides, like when you grow up with somebody, it's like forget the politics. That's my brother. Just like I got enemies, but that's my brother. Because before we was enemies, we was brothers. You know my dad, you know my peoples. My dad know your peoples, and I know your peoples, type-ish. But, you know, it's 2025. Young niggas, none of that matters. The foundation of the hood, none of that matters. Whoever kept shit going before them, it doesn't matter. They feel they here now. But they don't know if we didn't declare war, nigga, it wouldn't be no hood to what you claiming right now. So what the hell are you talking about? So we gonna run the content. Drakeo, long live my brother. He probably did kill your bitch ass brother. But we gonna run the content. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Man, you know who it is. It's Neptune the motherfucking Goon.
Carson has left one person dead, 2 others wounded. Let's go to NBC4's Maren Austin live at the scene with new information. Maren, good morning.
Michelle, good morning. Of the 3 young men who were shot last night, we've learned that 24-year-old Davion Gregory has died.
Yeah, that's Red Bull.
Gregory was one of about 80 people who came to this warehouse off of Victoria and Main Street.
In today's video, we're going to talk about Kells from the Stinc team, aka Kells from Rolling Hundreds. We're going to cover everything from his early life, his court cases,
long live my brothers.
The only one to receive prison time for the Stinc team indictment. Now let's get into it.
He probably killed your bitch ass brother.
Block Crip, which would be the Rolling Hundreds in the Westmont district of LA. But growing up, he would be into sports. He would even be a football star at one point. And he would skateboard at one point too, as you can see from this video right here that I found online.
Spawn Supremacy, K2L, I want to give a shout to Avery.
But Kells,
I noticed that too, like in LA it's kind of like a big skateboard culture or whatever, like, but yeah, I decided we're gonna tap into this shit, but I wasn't really familiar with the story. I heard, whatever.
Would catch his first adult case at the age of 20, and he was arrested on May 6th of 2013. As you can see to the top left, but he would be arrested for 2 counts of burglary, 3 counts of receiving stolen property, 1 count of attempted burglary, and the final count would be burglary in the 1st degree. He would sit for only a month, and then he would plead guilty on all counts. And even though he pled guilty on 7 counts, he would only get 2 years in state prison. That would be for the burglary, because the other counts, he was able to run them concurrent. He would be sentenced on July 12th of 2013, then he was released 2 years later, in September of 2015. And after just a few weeks of being home, he would catch a whole new case on October 17th of 2015, this time for driving under the influence. But this case wouldn't be a felony, it's a misdemeanor. But on February 1st of 2016, he would take a plea deal for 3 years of probation. But in the summer of 2016, he would be arrested again, this time.
So the Stinc team was kind of like a mix of Crips and Crip associates, or like, I ain't choice of words. I ain't want to say.
The Odie, like, he was functioning with mostly Crips. Not to say that's what he was on. But then, as you see, Monk, who he signed to the Stinc team, was from family swans, and that's Bloods. So back to the content.
Sympathizers or whatever. I know that's how they say it, but you know.
For loitering by a criminal street gang. But even though he was on probation, this would be a misdemeanor also. So he was let free on a personal recognizance. But 3 months later, while catching a whole new case on probation, he would catch another case. This time it would be for taking a vehicle without consent. He was arrested on November 16th of 2016, and he would take a plea deal 2 weeks later, on November 28th of 2016. They would give him 5 years of probation for this case and the 2 misdemeanors. And now this is where things get crazy. Because just 1 month after taking that 5-year probation plea deal, he would be arrested for a burglary on December 23rd of 2016. But they would let him go. As you see, the filing date at the top is January 25th of 2018. But he was arrested December 23rd of 2016. And this is why they let him go. Because on December 10th of 2016, that would be the day that Davion Gregory, aka Red Bull, from Inglewood Families, would be killed. And that would be...
Hey, rest in peace to him, bro. Condolences to his family, condolences to his people.
Man, you can say what you want to say. He was clout chasing on me. Nigga, in the pen, he was clout chasing me. I knocked his ass out.
Window any chance he get. Yeah,
I could see why they did what they did to Red Bull. I know this is controversy, but it is real content. Red Bull was a clout chaser. So if he knew that Drakeo was in there, I know he said something. I know how he was dressing. He a sneaky type dude. He a sneaky dude. He the type to where if they didn't get him, he would have got on the phone and then Drakeo and them would have got lit up. For sure. But let's go.
It was when that YG album came out, flocking was kind of, I know it's always been a thing, especially being right there close to like Hollywood, Beverly Hills, all that shit, right? But yeah, YG like made everybody shimmy through a window at one point in time or another.
13 days before Kells was arrested for the burglary. But just 2 months later, on February 13th of 2017, he was arrested for possession of a firearm and 2 counts of possession of assault weapons. This was the first indictment with Drakeo the Ruler. They would then sit in the county jail for the next 4 months. And on June 6th of 2017, he would take a plea deal to where he would have both counts of possession of an assault weapon dismissed, and he would only take a plea deal on the possession of a firearm. But he took the plea for the possession of a firearm on June 6th of 2017, and he had to wait until November 8th of 2018 for the assault weapons to get dismissed due to his plea negotiation. So he had to sit in jail for about 1.5 years. And during that time that he was sitting in jail, they would file that burglary charge that we were talking about earlier. As you see, the filing date at the top would be January 25th of 2018. And just 2 months after they filed the burglary charge, they would file the big Stinc team indictment. As you see at the top, it says March 15th of 2018. They would be charged with 1 count of conspiracy to commit any crime, 1 count of murder, 1 count...
It seemed like he kept getting hella slaps on the wrist, whatever have you, and I
he probably never had a record.
Coming out there,
you showed he was a skater.
It's crazy.
You already said he was a skater, so you already know he was out the way. Police in LA ain't looking for no goddamn skaters, gang. That's the best throw off you could have. You could be squirting stuff on a skateboard.
Later,
they're not gonna even look for you.
September 25th of 2018, they would have all these
that's my birthday.
Dismissed.
That's my birthday,
and that's because
gang.
4 days prior, the state decided to refile
September
the case.
25th.
As you see up there, it says September 21st of 2018, and they would drop the miscellaneous charges, but they would keep the conspiracy to commit any crime, murder, shooting out of a motor vehicle at a person, the 7 counts of attempted murder, and the 7 counts of possession of a firearm. In just 2 months after they refiled that crazy Stinc team indictment, he would be sentenced for the burglary on November 8th of 2018, and they would give him 4 years for the burglary. As you see, it says 2.
So you could understand why, like, Drakeo was like, he felt like the DA or whoever, right, had it out for him, because it's really like a bunch of trumped up charges.
They knew he was hanging out with gang members, and then he making that music.
Custody, feel me? Imagine they in there going through the motions, though, like, hearing some shit got dismissed, only to hear that they refiled and kept the serious shit, all this, that, and the third. Come on, bro, yo, damn.
But since he's a 2 striker, they would double it. And on that same exact day, they would sentence him for the possession of a firearm on November 8th of 2018, and they gave him 16 months for that. As you see, it says 8, but the same thing as last time. He's a 2-striker, so they doubled it. These were the 2 cases that he was fighting since 2016. Now let's get back into the Stinc team indictment. But after about 2.5 years of fighting this indictment, on July 25th of 2019, he would blow trial. He would be convicted of the bigger charges, while the lesser charges were either dismissed or acquitted. He would be found guilty on the murder, shooting from a motor vehicle at a person, and 5 counts of attempted murder. All the Stinc team members would have a different outcome with this case though. As we all know, they all beat this, besides Kells. And as you see, the last disposition for each of these counts, some of them would say 2024, and some would be 2019. Kells would be sentenced though.
It's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
In jail sitting for all that time, whole time. They really ain't, they really acted like they basically was using.
It was Drakeo told me it's one officer. It was one Hispanic officer that didn't like him, that been pulling him over since way back in the day. And he said he had it out for him the whole time.
Y'all, it's crazy.
It was one main detective that didn't like Drakeo.
And he would get life without parole for the murder.
He told me that out his own mouth.
7 years for shooting out of a motor vehicle.
He said he taking shit
and then a
personal.
life sentence for each attempted murder. So 5 in total. So he would be sentenced to 6 life sentences. One of them has without parole, plus 7 years. And as you see, the sentence date would be November 19th of 2024. But now we're going to break down how he was convicted and why nobody else was. This part right here isn't to disrespect anybody. It's just facts, and I'm reading paperwork. We're going to start off with this article right here. And as you see, it says Davion Irvin, who goes by the moniker Solo, was working with the police and giving detectives information about the Stinc team and pretty much lying on them, saying that it's a Crip group. He even broke down how many members and what everybody's moniker and which gang they belong to. He would even tell police that Kells was on social media drinking a drink and dissing Red Bull. And then he told police,
he said, shh, don't say too much, she a Perkin. Effing in a turning kickboxer to a jerker. So, yeah, I had heard actually though that he was in there like some shit like that. They sent somebody in there, decoy, and he got a little lipsy, right? Type shit. I don't know.
That Kells didn't say, but he implied that if anybody spoke about the shootings, they would be killed. When all Kells really said was, if you basically don't say anything, we're gonna be okay. And this right here would be the proof that he agreed to cooperate in exchange for a reduced sentence on other charges he was fighting. He even told them about 7 different shootings that had nothing to even do with the Stinc team. And he would even lie to the police and tell them that Kells did a shooting that he never even did. But Detective Hardiman didn't do his due diligence. That's when Kells' lawyer had to prove to Detective Hardiman that Kells was in jail at the time of the shooting. That's when Detective Hardiman went back to Irvin, who was Solo, and told him that he knew he lied about the shooting and that he believes he was the shooter. But that wouldn't be the only thing used against Kells. They would do a Perkins and set up somebody named AB from Rolling 40s, and they put an informant in his cell.
I thought it was a Perkins. You know what's crazy, right? So you telling me, bro, the shit he was trying to supposedly snitch on, right? On Kells and whoever else,
he put
was
extra.
Still found to be credible information after finding out he wasn't credible.
Yeah.
Try to say a nigga slid when he was
so
in
he
jail.
can half tell the truth and half
AB
not.
was also a Stinc
Come
team
on
member.
now.
But he would tell the informant in the cell, not knowing that he was an informant, the whole situation and everything that happened. He would even say that he was one of the shooters also. He was locked up with the informant for weeks, maybe even months. And for some reason he trusted him. Because even right here, as you see, Detective Hardiman went and interviewed him in the jail and told him that he got him on camera. And that's when AB responded and said, you don't got nothing. But once the interview was done and he went back to his unit, the informant would ask him what happened. And he would tell the informant that they got him on camera doing it. But that right there would be the story of Kells and why he got sentenced and what he got sentenced to.
Talking too much.
That's going to wrap it up for this video. Subscribe, comment, and like.
Shut up.
So pretty much, it wasn't else like Kells was saying. Kells knew the business. He was laced by the hundreds. Whoever told him how to do shit, whoever turned him out, they told him, you don't say nothing, you come home. That's how all of us come home. You don't say nothing, you come home. But you saying something to a nigga and putting dates and times to some random nigga that you probably don't even know, but he told you he from a hood and he acting like he your big homie. I'm glad that never happened to me, and I never talked to nobody I didn't know, like personally. But, you know, even the ones close to you that know you can't even book you. So, with that being said, I didn't even know Kells booked his own self. You can't really say nothing to a man that booked his own self. You know what I mean? What is there to say? Brother, you told the informant everything. And then when you came back from talking to the police in jail, right when they call you for visit or something like that, he probably was calling straight to that detective, telling him everything you said. And then, for that informant to be in there weeks and months, you know he getting paid like Charleston White and everybody else. I'm glad Drakeo beat the case. Rest in peace, Red Bull. Kells, you got a long ride ahead of you. It's going to be hard to come back on appeal if you told on yourself. And not only that, you had 7 separate shootings, which got you 7 consecutive life sentences. You sound just like Tiny Bogart. The only thing with you is you told on yourself. And even like he said, I don't see how the other dude was giving information, adding bodies that never existed, and Kells proved he was, but you still could use some of the things he said, but the other things not. Like, I don't understand. Like, that's how you see, like, the court, they keep what they want, they trash what they want, and then when it comes to trial, they'll straight delete certain stuff that won't be even said, to where the jurors won't even know where the discrepancy was. And man, it's like it's a chess game when you come to court. So, like I said, man, that beef right there, it was just, man, it was never ending. And once Drakeo got out and had that bread to blow up the way he did with the Drake, and then he had that Drake feature, I don't know, but it's on my mind. 15 bottles in the club when I pull up, don't be so shy. Yeah, that blew up Drakeo. He got a couple mil off that video with Drake. Rest in peace, that man. Rest in peace, the situation. Ever since Drakeo died, the Stincs ain't been doing too much. Ralphie been trying to do his thing, but no, he don't get no views. And then even when Ralphie go live, I ain't gonna even lie, to this day, I be seeing like 65 people watching him. You should be way more huge than that. You should be having some hundreds, thousands, like, you know. But it is what it is. And, you know, he was the truth of the Stick team. And so much to where now that he gone, everybody fell off. Nobody's mainstream. Nobody's nothing. You got AOF Nino signing to 600 Entertainment, knowing 600 did bad business with Crip Mac. Well, like I said, it's another Say Less Moments TV. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Tap in with me on Instagram, DM me, hit me, and I'll hit you back. Another Say Less Moments TV, and I'm out.